Hi. The purpose of this video will be to give you some information so that you can construct a two-column document such as a program for a wedding or a three-column brochure. For a wedding program like this, if you consider how you'd have to lay it out, and it's going to be folded along where the line is, then the left side of the first page would be the back cover, then the front cover, and then the two on the right are the middle pages, the inside pages. But let's take a look at some of the steps we need to learn before we attempt this. Starting with a new document, if I go to my Office Bible and look up columns, I don't find anything in the 2013 version. I suspect the standalone books, which are, 2-3 times the size of this one, would have information about columns, so it appears that we should really cover it in this class. Let's assume we want to create a newsletter. If I went to Help and typed in columns, then searched, the top subject is Add Newsletter Style Columns to a Document so text flows from one column to the next. This is kind of interesting because historically, 15, 16 years ago, we had another style of columns called parallel. Think of a play script. You have the person's name and stage directions on the left, and you have the words that they say and perhaps some actions on the right. And these would continue on in the same position on each page instead of flowing from one column to the next on the same page. I don't know what they do for that anymore. Couldn't find anything about it anywhere. Columns is under Page Layout, Page Setup. Alrighty then. If I'm doing a newsletter, a 1-inch margin is just way too big. So let's go in and change margins first of all. I don't want it 1/2 inch top and bottom. I really want it just 1/2 inch on the left and right. 0.5, right, 0.5. Okay. And now I can set up my columns. I could just do 2, but I need to make a point. I'm going to go down to more columns. And this is what would be going on underneath if you had just selected 2 up from the main menu level. We're getting 2 columns, equal width, a 1/2 inch spacing in between them, applied to the entire document. Let's apply this same technique to a previously written article that maybe we're going to publish in a newsletter. I'm going to go to Page Layout, Margins, Custom Margins, left 1/2 inch, right 1/2 inch, columns, more columns, 2. Okay. Now, is this what I really want? Perhaps not. Perhaps I would have rather had the title go all the way across the top if the entire newsletter was about this topic. So let's click Undo and investigate something else. Let's make this big. And center it. But this time, let's come down to the first paragraph before we start. Oh, by the way, notice that these paragraphs are not indented. We really don't want to indent them a half an inch in a newsletter, but we'll see how easy it is to fix later. Alrighty, page layout, columns, more columns, 2, and instead of applying to the whole document, let's apply from this point forward. Much better, isn't it? Let's remove the hidden codes. So that might be the effect you want, and that is how you would produce it. You have a choice of how you work with this text. You can work with it in this print layout form, or we can go to View, Draft. And we get a look like this. Supposedly, if you have a little slower computer, this one runs faster. I could highlight all of these paragraphs and then do the indent, but I can also do it back in print layout form. So if I hold down Control, then Shift, and then tap the End key, everything is highlighted from that point forward. I can grab the first line indent, drag it over to 1/4 of an inch. Oh, please don't cycle on me. Oh, good. And then we can scoot up to the top, and we can see that it did it for all of the paragraphs. All right, this is enough for one video. We'll continue on with the second video about what we need to do a wedding program. See you later.